His 6 children were present in the courtroom, listening intently to the proceedings. The jury had been selected with the understanding that they needed to be comfortable enough to hear these difficult and emotional descriptions. "Bro, are you here on behalf of your father? Do you believe in your father's innocence?" someone asked, underscoring the gravity of the moment. For the first time during the trial, the 3 Combs sisters appeared to offer emotional support to their father. However, less than an hour later, they rose, embraced each other tightly, and left the courtroom in tears. The video shown at that moment was so harrowing that even DIDDY'S own daughters could not bear to watch it. This video is arguably the most critical piece of evidence, as it lays the foundation for the accusations involving coercion, fraud, or force. In the Manhattan federal court, tension filled the air before the trial began. Cassie presented a previously unrevealed video, purportedly showing footage from a controversial freak-off event that is central to the allegations against DIDDY. According to the prosecution, this video is pivotal, exposing a complex web of accusations aimed at Diddy and revealing secrets linked to his family. As the tape was officially admitted into evidence, the Combs family members exchanged heavy, apprehensive glances, seemingly aware they were about to confront something irreversible. Shortly after the video started, Delilah frantically covered the eyes of her twin sister, Jessie, while Chance and Justin remained glued to the screen, where the image of a familiar woman suddenly appeared. Was it Kim Porter? The witness testified that 8 videos were found on a drive, featuring 8 celebrities at DIDDY'S freak-off parties, including 6 men and 2 women. The drive also contained a manuscript of an alleged memoir by Kim Porter, which her 4 children adamantly insist is fake. A hushed murmur spread through the courtroom like a rising wave as the gravity of the revelations set in, and without a word, all 3 sisters left the room. The question remained, what had the footage revealed, and why had their first visit to support their father ended with them fleeing? Outside, beneath Manhattan's gray skies, a crowd gathered at the federal courthouse, where the trial of Sean Diddy Combs appeared to continue as just another day. Reporters jostled for positions as cameras flashed incessantly, and protest signs bearing messages like justice for the victims rose above the crowd. Speculation buzzed among onlookers and legal experts alike, all sensing the intense atmosphere before a trial that promised high drama. Inside the packed courtroom, not a seat was empty. Sketch artists worked swiftly, cameras clicked rhythmically, and the jury's steely eyes were fixed, ready to scrutinize every detail. The oak-paneled room felt suffocating, with each breath seeming laborious. The unexpected presence of the Combs family captured everyone's attention. For the first time since the scandal broke, the family's usual empty seats were occupied. Diddy's 3 daughters, Chance, Lily, and Jessie, sat prominently in the front row alongside his son, Justin Dior Combs. They were impeccably dressed, their simple yet elegant attire conveying a surprising maturity. Their faces were stoic, eyes masking a complex web of emotions. When asked by the media about their attendance, Chance replied calmly but firmly, "We're here to support our father." Yet, in their expressions, there was a subtle, unfinished feeling, a quiet void, as if they were bracing themselves for something far heavier than words could convey. Prosecutor Rachel Harper, a middle-aged woman with silver hair, neatly pulled back and framed by thin glasses, stood from the prosecution's table. Her voice carried a measured yet authoritative tone, steady like the rhythmic beat of a drum signaling a pivotal moment. Fixing her sharp gaze on Cassie, she asked, "Please describe for the court what has been referred to as the freak-off and your involvement in those events." The courtroom fell silent, tense with anticipation. Cassie inhaled deeply, her eyes scanning the room before briefly resting on Alex, seated nearby, his calm, unwavering stare grounding her. Pressing her lips together, she began in a low but firm voice as if carefully weighing each word. "I met Sean in 2005. I was 19, newly signed to Bad Boy Records. He was a powerful figure, a music industry icon, who promised to launch me to stardom. But what I ended up with wasn't fame. It was a trap." She paused, her eyes sweeping over the jury to emphasize the seriousness of her testimony. "About a year after we started dating, he introduced me to what he called the freak-off. He said it was a way to relax, to push boundaries. But for me, it was like being trapped in a nightmare I couldn't escape. Cassie explained that the freak-off was an event she first learned about from Sean Combs roughly a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, a meticulously orchestrated gathering by Diddy, where he exercised total control. "He enjoyed watching me with others," she said, her voice trembling as she recalled the traumatic experience. "But it wasn't just watching. He controlled every detail. What I wore, how the room was lit, what acts took place, even how much baby oil we applied so our bodies would shimmer just the way he liked." She recounted how Diddy required her to buy revealing outfits from specialty stores, personally selecting what she had to wear. "I had no choice," she said, locking eyes with the jury, her tone sharpened with conviction. "If I refused, he threatened me, leaving me feeling completely trapped with no escape." "It depends on where the relationship goes," she added. "If it's something you don't want to share, it's your secret. But I do believe in karma. If you're hurting people, it catches up to you." According to Cassie, the freak-offs were not brief or casual events. They often lasted between 36 and 72 hours, and she described the overwhelming exhaustion she and others endured. One freak-off lasted 4 days, she revealed, her voice shaking. "They happened weekly, like they were mandatory parts of my life." She also detailed her coerced role in organizing these gatherings. "I had to find participants through sites like Craigslist or professional services," she admitted, lowering her gaze as if ashamed. "I arranged their travel to places like Miami, Ibiza, New York, Louisiana, and Las Vegas. I worked with his team, pretending they were recruiters, but it was all part of the plan," he said. Cassie explained that Diddy controlled not only the people involved, but also the venues where the freak-offs occurred, maintaining complete authority over every aspect of these disturbing events. He orchestrated the lighting with meticulous precision, beginning with the soft flicker of candles that cast a deceptive romantic glow over the room, cleverly masking the underlying tension that simmered beneath the surface. This initial ambience was deliberately crafted to lull everyone into a false sense of security, creating an illusion of intimacy while subtly reinforcing his dominance. Then, without warning, the atmosphere shifted dramatically as he transitioned to stark, professional stage lighting, as if we were actors in a carefully directed film, each move meticulously planned to serve his desire for total control. This calculated manipulation was not random, but a core component of his broader strategy to keep everyone perpetually off balance, disoriented, and thus more compliant to his will. She recounted with chilling clarity how Diddy had choreographed every single element of these encounters, from the precise movements expected of each person to the specific, often degrading acts he demanded, leaving absolutely no room for personal autonomy or resistance. To further break down barriers, he insisted on the use of illicit substances, deliberately lowering inhibitions and clouding judgment, which blurred the lines of consent and made any form of resistance nearly impossible. She recalled a particularly harrowing moment with vivid detail. "I had to text him asking which pill to take, and he told me exactly," her voice trembling but resolute, haunted by the memory of that chilling exchange. Despite the overwhelming trauma she endured, her tone throughout remained steady and composed, a testament to her inner strength and resilience. The trial reached a pivotal moment when Cassie's lawyer played a previously unseen video from a 2018 freak-off event, sourced from the White Party Archive, a collection of footage kept secret for years to protect the identities of those involved. The courtroom was transfixed as the screen revealed a neon-lit seaside mansion, pulsating with chaotic figures and pounding music, a stark and unsettling contrast to the carefully curated public image Diddy maintained. This footage exposed the dark reality behind his infamous white parties, exclusive, high-profile events that served as a facade for exploitation, corruption, and the abuse of power. Celebrities were shown openly using drugs and engaging in behavior that flagrantly disregarded consent and human dignity, laying bare a deeply toxic culture of excess and impunity. Cassie explained how she was coerced into organizing every aspect of these events under the looming threat of blackmail, with secret videos held as insurance to ensure her compliance, making her both a victim and an unwilling accomplice in the cycle of abuse. "He said those were his insurance," she confided, her voice trembling with the weight of her confession. "If I didn't comply, he'd ruin me." The courtroom fell into a heavy silence as the video shifted to a vulnerable moment featuring Kim Porter, DIDDY'S late partner, poignantly highlighting the profound human cost behind the scandal. Chance instinctively covered her mouth, trembling uncontrollably, while the twins sat pale and motionless, their faces itched with quiet pain and steadfast resilience. The emotional weight in the room was palpable, a somber testament to the devastating impact of manipulation, exploitation, and trauma that lurk beneath the glittering surface of glamour and fame. Their eyes flickered anxiously toward Diddy, panic and betrayal washing over them before finally settling on their mother's image on the screen. The grainy, unsettling footage of Kim Porter, her hollow stare and confused, almost haunted demeanor, was more than just a fleeting moment captured on camera. It revealed the dark, manipulative environment and toxic undercurrents Diddy had orchestrated behind closed doors, hidden from the public eye. Once celebrated for her strength, grace, and resilience, Kim now appeared nearly unconscious, as if trapped in a surreal, nightmarish world that stripped away her vitality and essence. Her haunting appearance in the freak-off video raised troubling and deeply disturbing questions about her involvement in these shadowy, secretive gatherings, and whether her 2018 death, officially ruled pneumonia, was truly accidental, or possibly a deliberate act intended to silence her and keep the sinister truth buried. Maybe they had a fight, and Puff accidentally smothered her. Someone speculated quietly in hushed tones, the suggestion hanging heavy in the room. Suddenly, a court officer announced, "Have a good evening, guys," trying to ease the tension. Unable to contain his mounting fury and desperation, Diddy slammed his fist forcefully on the table, shouting, "Stop the video now! My children are here! You can't do this!" His outburst was immediately overshadowed by Jesse's muffled sobs, raw with pain and heartbreak. With bloodshot, tear-filled eyes, Chance gathered her trembling twins and hurriedly rushed them out of the courtroom, their frightened cries echoing down the hallway and spreading a profound sorrow throughout the room. A juror bowed their head, tears brimming and silently praying, while a reporter muttered under their breath, "This isn't just a trial, it's a tragedy unfolding before our eyes." In the quiet corridor, Delilah clung tightly to Jessie, trying desperately to comfort her as the unbearable pain spilled out in quiet sobs. The vacant, lifeless image of their mother shattered the warm, loving memories they had of Kim, the woman who had always been their protector and source of love and strength. Jessie whispered softly, "Why was Mom there?" Her innocent question hung heavy in the air, met with suspicion and growing doubt toward their father. Neither could bear the terrible possibility that Diddy, who claimed to love them fiercely, might have pulled their mother into this dark, dangerous world and ultimately contributed to her untimely death. They are about to play the freak-off videos. Guess who's front row? "Daddy's sons are here," announced the court officer, the tension palpable. Diddy's lawyer, Victor Langston, then stood and said firmly to Cassie, "You've painted these events as if you were powerless, but consider the bigger picture. You signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Entertainment, lived a life of luxury, traveled the world extensively, and attended countless lavish parties. Isn't it possible that you willingly took part in these freak-offs to secure your place in Mr. Combs' world, fall unaware of what you—" His question hit Cassie like a sharp arrow, causing her to hesitate briefly. She inhaled deeply, locking eyes with Alex for a moment and drawing strength from his steady presence. "No," she answered firmly, her voice gaining clarity and her gaze unwavering. "I didn't make a choice. I was forced into it. What I received wasn't a reward but the cost I had to pay just to survive. He controlled every aspect of my life. My career, my friends, even my thoughts. I had no option but to comply with his demands, because if I resisted, I would lose everything." Her words echoed through the courtroom as a powerful proclamation, prompting subtle nods from some jurors whose eyes reflected their sympathy. Langston continued, lowering his voice as if trying to ensnare her. "Miss Ventura, did you ever work alongside others like Miss Kim Porter? to carry out these freak-offs on Mr. Combs' order. Were you and Miss Porter willing participants who enjoyed the lifestyle Mr. Combs provided? The courtroom chilled at the mention of Kim Porter, the late mother of Delilah and Jesse, reopening fresh wounds the Combs family struggled to conceal. Cassie shook her head, pain flashing in her eyes. "No," she said, voice trembling yet resolute. "Kim was trapped just like me. We weren't accomplices. We were victims caught in the same twisted system. He made us believe there was no escape, as if everything we had, our careers, families, reputations, depended on pleasing him." Her words cut deeply, and although Diddy stayed seated, his discomfort was clear. His fingers tapped nervously on the table as his eyes darted toward the empty seats where his daughters had once sat, searching for some comfort in their absence. The release of the video featuring Kim Porter, combined with Cassie's damning testimony, was more than a blow to Diddy's public image. It was a direct strike at his most vulnerable place, his love for his children. Chance, Delilah, and Jesse, the daughters Diddy has always held as the center of his world, were forced to confront their mother portrayed as hollow and lifeless, a victim of the harsh reality their father had created. The girls' anguish, expressed through their sobs and frantic exit from the courtroom, highlighted the devastating effect of the video. Their presence at the trial, precisely at the moment the video aired, sparked public suspicion. Why did Kim Porter's children appear at such a sensitive moment? This coincidence fueled rumors that it was a calculated move to strike at Diddy's Achilles heel, his devotion to his daughters. While Delilah and Jesse fled in tears, Chance and Justin remained stoic, their cold eyes fixed on Diddy rather than following their sisters. This behavior led many to wonder, do they truly believe in their father, or does their calm exterior mask deep doubt and a readiness to face the truth? For years, the media portrayed the Combs family as united, especially after Kim Porter's death, who had been the emotional glue between Diddy and the children. Yet Chance and Justin's presence at the trial was more than just support. It was a veil hiding hidden intentions, hinting at a silent power struggle within the family. The quiet, distant gazes of Chance and Justin, who are not Kim Porter's biological children, concealed what exactly? Loyalty or a calculated plan? Chance, Diddy's daughter with Sarah Chapman, grew up on the edge of this pain. Not a child of Kim's, she lived isolated, deprived of warm maternal memories. When Kim died in 2018, her children clung to treasured memories, while Chance faced a cold loneliness. Media images of Diddy doting on Kim's children stirred a nameless ache in Chance, casting her as a shadow outside the family's tender moments. Justin Combs, eldest son of Diddy and Misa Hilton, possessed an unwavering determination that set him apart from many in his complex family landscape. Rather than succumbing to grief and the relentless pressures of the public eye, he emerged as a shrewd strategist, viewing the often tumultuous family dynamics as a sophisticated chessboard filled with power moves and shifting alliances. Over the years, he meticulously mastered his father's intricate game, skillfully navigating through numerous trials, controversies, and scandals that were deliberately kept quiet to protect the family's carefully maintained public reputation. Beneath his calm and composed exterior, these hidden wounds and personal struggles forged him into a master tactician, someone who was always ready to disrupt the status quo whenever it served a greater purpose. Unlike his sister Chance, who tended to struggle openly and emotionally in the spotlight, Justin channeled his hardships into a steely resolve, using his insight, emotional intelligence, and strategic thinking as distinct advantages in the ongoing family saga. From a very young age, he keenly observed how Kim Porter's children received the maternal warmth and nurturing care he rarely experienced firsthand, learning to understand their father, a man who balanced expressions of love with fierce challenges and high expectations. Rumors and whispers about Justin's true nature and actions were routinely silenced by Diddy himself, who was determined to preserve the family legacy and public image at all costs. But these concealed injuries only deepened Justin's cunning and patience, equipping him with the tools to change the rules of engagement when necessary. The dramatic and unexpected appearance of Chance, Delilah, and Jesse at the trial, defying DIDDY'S explicit orders, shocked many observers and insiders alike. What could have compelled Kim Porter's children to openly defy their father on the very day a damaging and potentially career-altering video surfaced? Speculation ran rampant, with some suggesting that Justin and Chance had conspired behind the scenes to confront Diddy directly, though their true intentions remained shrouded in mystery. With his characteristic keen insight, Justin recognized Chance's vulnerability and skillfully planted seeds of doubt by asking provocative questions like, "Have you ever wondered who Dad really is?" He shared stories and details Chance had never previously encountered, revelations about controversial white parties, DIDDY'S subtle but effective manipulations, and the complex, sometimes painful situations surrounding Kim Porter. These revelations stirred Chance's deeply buried pain and sense of injustice, prompting her to question the father she had once idolized without reservation. Under Justin's influence, Chance persuaded Delilah and Jesse to attend the trial in a show of support for their father, though they were unaware that in doing so, they were playing to a larger, more calculated scheme. Justin's motives, whether driven by revenge, a quest for power, or a pursuit of truth, remained enigmatic and open to interpretation. Behind the scenes, he allegedly orchestrated the delivery of the 2018 White Party archive video to Cassie Ventura's lawyer, a move that was anything but coincidental. The footage, which captured a vulnerable Kim Porter, was strategically disseminated. Justin leveraged his extensive network and resources to ensure the video reached Cassie, becoming pivotal evidence that would significantly influence the ongoing family power struggle and alter the dynamics within this complicated legacy. He proceeded with caution, fully aware that DIDDY'S loyal inner circle was prepared to protect him at any cost. To protect Cassie and her husband, Alex Fine, Justin reportedly arranged discreet security measures, though this remains unconfirmed. "She's the only one who can speak the truth," he messaged a friend through an encrypted app, his tone cold yet determined, if the rumors are accurate. As the trial progressed, the tension in the courtroom was palpable. Cassie took the stand and recounted years of living under DIDDY'S control, enduring threats and abuse that kept her trapped in fear. "He wanted me to be his completely," she said in a low but piercing voice, captivating the jury. Chance, Delilah, and Jesse sat in the front row, each wrestling silently with their own turmoil. Chance hid her discomfort, torn between loyalty to her father and the hard truths Justin revealed. Delilah and Jesse, unaware of the full extent, looked at their father with love until the video was played, causing them to recoil in panic. When the White Party archive video was unveiled, it displayed a seaside mansion bathed in flickering neon lights and chaotic figures, including Kim Porter, the mother who raised them. Delilah and Jesse, stunned and overwhelmed, fled the courtroom in tears, their cries echoing like a knife through the silence. Diddy sprang to his feet, yelling to stop the video, his eyes blazing with fury, but his gaze lingered on Chance and Justin, sensing they had foreknowledge. Chance met her father's stare with a steely expression, her unwavering eyes demanding answers. Justin stood unmoved, arms crossed and cold-eyed, brushing off DIDDY'S rage. Inside Justin, a chilling satisfaction grew as his father's empire wobbled under the weight of exposed secrets. Yet deep within, a flicker of love for the father he once admired still lingered, tearing him between the pursuit of justice and the pain of betraying family. Meanwhile, on X, the public buzzed with speculation. Hashtags like #KimPorterTruth and #DiddySecrets trended, applauding Cassie's bravery and breaking the silence. One post praised her resolve, but Kim Porter's video raised questions. Why were Chance and Justin, and not Kim's own children, the ones ensuring their sister's presence? Some speculated that Justin was exploiting Chance's emotional wounds to exact revenge on Diddy. "Justin craves power. Chance seeks truth," one comment said. This trial is far more than a legal battle. It stands as a stark warning about power, manipulation, and hidden secrets beneath the entertainment world's glossy surface. Cassie Ventura's testimony, supported by the freak-off video, exposed a world where Diddy ruled with an iron grip, turning figures like Cassie and Kim Porter into pawns of his ambition. The carefully orchestrated, Freak-off parties, with their oppressive atmosphere, were not just lavish events. They symbolized Diddy's total control over those around him. The appearance of Kim Porter in the video forced DIDDY'S daughters, Chance, Delilah, and Jessie, to face a painful reality. The father they once idolized might have pulled their mother into a dark, hidden world. The heart-wrenching cries of Delilah and Jessie as they rushed from the courtroom were a testament to the wounds these revelations inflicted. Meanwhile, the calm and composed demeanors of Chance and Justin sparked questions. Do they truly believe in their father, or are they hiding private motives? As the trial continues, the public awaits answers to deeper questions. Were the freak-offs merely extravagant parties, or were they part of a carefully orchestrated criminal enterprise? More importantly, was Kim Porter's death truly accidental, or a secret Diddy desperately tried to conceal? These lingering doubts cast a long shadow, challenging everyone to uncover the truth behind the man once celebrated as a cultural icon.